A room without books is like a body without a soul. If you have a garden and a library, you have everything you need. In times of war, the law falls silent. Silent enim legis inter arma. If we are not ashamed to think it, we should not be ashamed to say it. Friendship improves happiness and abates misery by doubling our joys and dividing our grief. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. The authority of those who teach is often an obstacle to those who want to learn. The life given us, by nature, is short, but the memory of a well-spent life is eternal. While there's life, there's hope. The life of the dead is set in the memory of the living. Politicians are not born, they are excreted. The face is a picture of the mind with the eyes as its interpreter. The shifts of fortune test the reliability of friends. To study philosophy is nothing but to prepare oneself to die. I criticize by creation, not by finding fault. We must not say every mistake is a foolish one. Life is nothing without friendship. It is foolish to tear one's hair in grief, as though sorrow would be made less by baldness. It is a great thing to know your vices. A happy life consists in tranquility of mind. I am not ashamed to confess I am ignorant of what I do not know. Your enemies can kill you, but only your friends can hurt you. The enemy is within the gates. It is with our own luxury, our own folly, our own criminality that we have to contend. Our span of life is brief, but is long enough for us to live well and honestly. Freedom is participation in power. Any man can make mistakes, but only an idiot persists in his error. Knowledge which is divorced from justice may be called cunning rather than wisdom. The function of wisdom is to discriminate between good and evil. Law applied to its extreme is the greatest injustice. Where is there dignity unless there is honesty? Never injure a friend, even in jest. God's law is right reason. When perfectly understood, it is called wisdom. When applied by government in regulating human relations, it is called justice. It is the peculiar quality of a fool to perceive the faults of others and to forget his own. To be content with what we possess is the greatest and most secure of riches. Ability without honor is useless. A friend is a second self. What one has, one ought to use, and whatever he does, he should do with all his might. What an ugly beast is the ape, and how like us. Time obliterates the fictions of opinion and confirms the decisions of nature. A mind without instruction can no more bear fruit than can a field, however fertile, without cultivation. We are bound by the law, so that we may be free. Diseases of the soul are more dangerous and more numerous than those of the body. We must not only obtain wisdom, we must enjoy her. Freedom is a possession of inestimable value. Few are those who wish to be endowed with virtue rather than to seem so. It is our own evil thoughts which madden us. Nothing stands out so conspicuously, or remains so firmly fixed in the memory, as something which you have blundered. Power brings a man many luxuries, but a clean pair of hands is seldom among them. To teach is a necessity, to please is a sweetness, to persuade is a victory. Dogs wait for us faithfully. Cultivation of the mind is as necessary as food to the body. Nature herself has imprinted on the minds of all the idea of God. Natural ability without education has more often raised a man to glory in virtue than education without natural ability. I prefer the most unfair peace to the most righteous war. Trust no one unless you have eaten much salt with him. Endless money forms the sinews of war. History is the witness that testifies to the passing of time. It illumines reality, vitalizes memory, provides guidance in daily life, and brings us tidings of antiquities. Kindness is stronger than fear. He only employs his passion who can make no use of his reason. To be rather than to seem. A man of faith is also full of courage. In a republic, this rule ought to be observed, that the majority should not have the predominant power. Memory is the treasury and guardian of all things. The welfare of the people is the highest law. A mental stain can neither be blotted out by the passage of time nor washed away by any waters. I have always been of the opinion that unpopularity earned by doing what is right is not unpopularity at all, but glory. To make a mistake is only human, to persist in a mistake is idiotic. Books are unfailing companions. The closer the collapse of the empire, the crazier its laws are. Vivere est cogiter. If you would abolish covetousness, you must abolish its mother, profusion. Every man can tell how many goats or sheep he possesses, but not how many friends. Silence is one of the great arts of conversation. The reward of friendship is friendship itself. The wise are instructed by reason, average minds by experience, the stupid by necessity, and the brute by instinct. Apollo, sacred guard of Earth's true core, whence first came frenzied, wild prophetic word. See you in the next videos.